Welcome, fellow viewers, to Prepping for Tomorrow, your definitive guide to preparedness strategies for uncertain times. In the world we live in, uncertainty can be around every corner. That's why we're here, to explore the concept of a total collapse. From economic downturns to warfare, societal failures to infrastructure breakdowns, we'll touch on the different types of collapses you may need to prepare for. Together, we'll dive into what a total collapse means and how to prepare for it. First, we need to understand what we mean by total collapse. Imagine the pillars of our society, the economic, infrastructural, and geopolitical systems failing comprehensively. It's like the ground shifting beneath your feet. Nothing is as it should be. The life we've known, the conveniences we've taken for granted, they all vanish. Law and order could crumble. Access to necessities might become a luxury, and the basic functioning of society might come to a screeching halt. It's not a pleasant thought, but knowledge is power. Understanding the potential impacts of such a collapse is the first step towards preparing for it. It's like a chess game. You need to anticipate the moves, strategize, and be ready to adapt. Now that we understand what a total collapse means, let's explore the different types that can occur. A total collapse can take many forms, each with its unique challenges. First, let's consider an economic collapse. This is when the economy takes a severe downturn, leading to hyperinflation, massive job losses, and the breakdown of financial institutions. Imagine your money becoming worthless overnight, banks closing their doors, and jobs becoming as scarce as hen's teeth. It's a scary prospect, isn't it? Next, we have a warfare collapse. This could be due to international conflicts or civil wars that lead to nationwide chaos, resource scarcity, and general insecurity. Picture this. The sound of gunfire replaces the morning bird song, your neighborhood turns into a battlefield, and survival becomes more important than your 9-to-5 job. Then there's a social collapse. This is when societal failures occur due to widespread riots, civil unrest, or a significant loss of trust in governance. Cities become war zones, law and order are thrown out the window, and the social fabric that binds us together unravels. It's like a dystopian novel come to life. Lastly, we come to an infrastructure collapse. This is when essential services like electricity, water supply, and transportation cease to function, potentially due to attacks on infrastructure, natural disasters, or cyber attacks. Imagine a world where your taps run dry, the lights don't come on, and the internet, our lifeline in today's digital age, disappears. Each of these collapse scenarios presents a unique set of challenges that require specific strategies to overcome. An economic collapse calls for financial resilience, a warfare collapse requires strategic planning and alliances, a social collapse demands strong community ties and communication, and an infrastructure collapse necessitates self-sufficiency in basic needs. Now that we know the types of collapses, we can start discussing how to prepare for each one. An economic collapse can be devastating, but with the right preparation, its impacts can be mitigated. We've all heard the phrase, money makes the world go round. But what happens when that world stops spinning? The answer lies in the essence of prepping for an economic collapse. Picture an economic downturn on steroids. Imagine hyperinflation where prices soar and your hard-earned cash is worth less than the paper it's printed on. Jobs become scarce and financial institutions crumble like a house of cards. This is the harsh reality of an economic collapse. But fear not, for preparedness is the key to weathering this storm. Firstly, diversify your assets. This means not putting all your eggs in one basket. Think beyond cash savings and the stock market. Consider tangible assets such as gold, silver, or real estate. These can provide a buffer against financial turmoil and maintain their value even when currency does not. Next, equip yourself with barter skills. In a collapsed economy, money may lose its value and trade could revert to a barter system. Whether it's a skill like carpentry or a commodity like canned food, having something to trade can be a lifeline in dire times. Finally, reduce your reliance on a single income source. The saying, "Don't quit your day job," might need a rethink. Consider developing multiple streams of income. This could be a side hustle, freelance work, or even a small home-based business. The goal is to create a safety net that can cushion the blow of job loss. Remember, an economic collapse doesn't mean the end of the world. It's a shakeup, a reset, a test of resilience. With the right strategies, you can navigate this storm and come out stronger on the other side. Being financially prepared is crucial, but equally important is preparing for social collapse. That, my friends, is up next. In times of social unrest, being prepared can mean the difference between chaos and order. When society teeters on the brink, it's the bonds we've built and the skills we've honed that become our lifelines. The first step in preparing for a social collapse is establishing strong community ties. Imagine a world where your neighbors are your first responders, your grocery store, and your safety net, all rolled into one. Cultivating relationships with those around you isn't just about being neighborly, it's a survival strategy. In the face of unrest, a tightly knit community can pool resources, share skills, and provide mutual support. Communication is another key aspect of preparedness. In a world where the internet may be compromised and cell towers could be down, you'll need alternative ways to connect. Learning to use two-way radios, understanding basic sign language, or even mastering the age-old art of carrier pigeons could save the day. Remember, in times of crisis, information is as valuable as food and water. Now let's talk about self-defense. When law and order take a back seat, your safety and that of your loved ones becomes your responsibility. This isn't about becoming a one-person army, but about understanding basic self-defense techniques, teaching them to your family and maybe even your community. It's about knowing when to stand your ground and when to retreat. Also, consider learning basic first aid skills. In a world where 911 may not be an option, these skills can literally be a lifesaver. And finally, plan for mental resilience. Anxiety, fear, and despair can be as crippling as any physical threat. Arm yourself with techniques to manage stress and maintain morale. Remember, the human spirit is a powerful tool for survival. As we shore up our social defenses, we must also prepare for the possibility of infrastructure collapse. When essential services fail, self-sufficiency becomes a life-saving skill. Now let's imagine a scenario where we can't flick a switch for light, turn a tap for water, or open a fridge for food. Sounds daunting, right? However, with thoughtful preparation, we can make this manageable, even in the face of an infrastructure collapse. First, let's discuss alternative energy sources. Solar power is a reliable, renewable resource that can provide us with electricity when the grid goes down. With the right setup, you can power anything from lights to refrigerators, making life a lot more comfortable during an outage. And don't forget about wind and hydropower if your location allows for it. Next, let's talk water, the elixir of life. In the event of a water supply disruption, having a water purification system becomes essential. Simple filtration systems, boiling methods, or even advanced portable purifiers can help ensure that you have safe drinking water. Rainwater harvesting is another viable option, and it's as straightforward as it sounds. Catch, store, and purify. Finally, let's tackle food. When grocery store shelves are bare, or worse, when they're inaccessible, you'll be thankful for your emergency food storage. A well-stocked pantry can sustain you for months. Consider foods with a long shelf life like canned goods, dried fruits, and grains. And don't forget the importance of variety to keep morale high. But why stop at food storage? Growing your own food is a step towards ultimate self-sufficiency. Start a garden if you have space, or explore container gardening if you don't. It's rewarding, therapeutic, and hey, who doesn't love a fresh tomato right off the vine? In essence, preparing for infrastructure collapse is about anticipating our basic needs and finding ways to meet them independently. It's about resilience and adaptability, and it's certainly doable with a bit of planning and preparation. Remember, the goal is not to recreate the comforts of modern life, but to ensure survival and maintain a decent quality of life in the face of adversity. With our infrastructure needs covered, we now turn to the grim prospect of warfare collapse. Warfare collapse is a terrifying scenario, but with the right preparations, survival is possible. Imagine this: the fragility of peace is shattered, and conflict engulfs the nation. It's a grim picture, but one that we should prepare for nonetheless. The first thing to consider is strategic relocation. You want to be as far from the heart of conflict as possible. This might involve moving to a rural area or even another country. This isn't about running away. It's about ensuring your safety and that of your loved ones. Next, we have to talk about alliances. In times of warfare collapse, having a trusted group of people around you is crucial. These alliances can provide mutual defense, share resources, and offer emotional support. You'll need to carefully select who you align with, as trust and reliability are key. Stockpiling necessary supplies is another vital step. Think food, water, and ammunition. You'll want to have enough to last you at least several months. And remember, it's not just about quantity. You also need to consider the quality and longevity of your supplies. Let's not forget about contingency plans for quick evacuation. If the situation deteriorates rapidly, you need to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. This means having a go bag ready, knowing your escape routes, and having a predetermined safe location to retreat to. And finally, let's discuss long-term survival strategies. These include securing a safe location away from potential conflict zones, learning to live off the land, and honing your self-defense skills. It's about being adaptable, resilient, and resourceful. Preparing for a warfare collapse is no small task, but it's not insurmountable either. It requires foresight, planning, and a willingness to adapt. It's about understanding that the world can change in an instant, and being ready to face whatever comes your way. With these preparations, we can face even the worst of collapses with confidence. Remember, the goal isn't just to survive, but to thrive. So let's keep prepping, keep learning, and keep supporting each other on this journey towards preparedness. Understanding the nature of various collapses and being well prepared to face them is crucial to our survival. From economic downturns to warfare chaos, societal failures, or infrastructure breakdowns, each scenario presents unique challenges. Yet, with financial security, community ties, self-sufficiency, and strategic planning, we can navigate these uncertain times. So regularly, evaluate and update your preparedness plans. Thank you for joining us today on Prepping for Tomorrow. Remember, preparedness is the key to survival. Stay safe, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next video.